Everybody ready to begin? Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. My name is Wayne Davis. I'm the sheriff of Henry County. I have with me Chief Fincher from the Martinsville City Police Department, Sheriff Dan Smith from the Patrick County Sheriff's Office, and also Commonwealth's Attorney Andrew Nestor. And I must say, it's due to his hard work and dedication to our agencies that made today's operation possible. With that said, many months ago, the Henry County Sheriff's Office, the Martinsville Police Department, and the Patrick County Sheriff's Office began an investigation into the suppliers of large quantities of narcotics into our region. They were being trafficked into Henry County, Patrick counties, and the city of Martinsville. As a result of this investigation, a Henry County grand jury has indicted multiple people for racketeering conspiracy. It's commonly referred to as RICO. It's a serious felony charge. There are also numerous additional charges that will go along with this. We'll make those available to you at the end of this. So this morning, SWAT teams from the Henry County Sheriff's Office, Martinsville Police Department, and Patrick County Sheriff's Office executed multiple search warrants across the region. The Martinsville Police Department executed 2 search warrants located inside the city of Martinsville. The Sheriff's Office executed 8 search warrants inside of Henry County. And as we speak, our investigators are currently executing an additional 3 search warrants as this press conference goes on. As a result of those search warrants, so far 6 individuals have been arrested. Most of those individuals have been charged with racketeering conspiracy, the RICO charge. And in fact, many of them are related, and they are a multi-generational drug dealing family. These people that we've arrested today are responsible for the death and destruction of our community members. These poison peddlers have sold drugs that have destroyed our family and our friends, and they have profited from those who suffer from addiction. And that stops today. This morning, as a result of those search warrants, we seized a large quantity of prescription pills, suspected methamphetamine, suspected fentanyl, psilocybin mushrooms, a substantial amount of U.S. currency, 5 illegally possessed firearms, 7 vehicles used in the distribution of narcotics, and there will be multiple real estate properties here in Martinsville and Henry County that will be seized by the Sheriff's Office and the Martinsville Police Department. I must thank everyone on the investigative team who put in absolutely countless hours to ensure that these drug dealers were indicted, and also every law enforcement officer who came to work this morning and selflessly executed these high-risk search warrants to ensure these people were brought to justice and no longer poison our community. It's through these efforts that we've been able to make an impact today. I assure you this will slow the flow of narcotics into our communities. Thank you. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Chief Rob Fincher.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to briefly say that, as Sheriff Davis said, that this has been a joint effort, and we are truly appreciative of these other agencies that have worked so hard and the effort they put forth. Each of us realize that our citizens deserve better than to have these horrible drugs brought into our community. Our citizens demand that we take action. Well, this is your law enforcement taking action. We have made a significant impact, but we are not done. We want to send the message to other drug dealers that are out there. We're not stopping. This isn't the end. This is the beginning. We're going to continue going after these illegal drug dealers. We're not going to rest until they stop, until our community is safe, because our citizens deserve it. And I'll now turn it over to Sheriff Dan Smith.
Thank you, Chief. We have to understand as a community, this is a regional problem. It doesn't just affect Henry County, city of Martinsville, but it affects, it's residual. It affects everybody that touches us. And, we're certainly not immune in Patrick County to this. As a result of what's happened today, I am confident that we're going to stop a substantial flow of narcotics coming from eastward into our county. And we have evidence that it will do so. And we've indicted several individuals in Patrick County on methamphetamine distribution charges that were directly related to what you're seeing happening today. And, you know, I've said time and time again, when it comes to Patrick County, I'm very territorial. It's my home. It's where, you know, I raised my family, and, you know, we have great citizens. And I feel the same way about our Henry County and this region. So we have to cut the head off the snake, and I think that's what we've done today. And I think you're going to see a substantial change after this. So, and I appreciate the working relationships that we've always had, you know, with Henry County Sheriff's Office, Martinsville Police Department, all of our criminal justice partners. So, thank you.
Good afternoon, folks. My name's Andrew Nestor. I'm Commonwealth Attorney for Henry County. I'd like to first thank the folks that work in my office, not only the attorney staff, but the administrative staff. We have diligently worked. A lot of hours was put into this, and we actually had people working on up into the night to make sure that all the paperwork was in process and in place for our office to get this matter going today. I'd also like to thank the Henry County Sheriff's Office, thanks to Wayne Davis and his leadership. I especially would like to thank his vice team for putting all of this together so that we can all work together to make our community a safer place to live and work. Through their diligent efforts, we're able to bring you the charges that we're here on today. I'd also like to thank the Patrick County Sheriff's Office as well as the Martinsville City Police Department. Echoing what my brethren here have said today, we always enjoy a great working relationship and camaraderie with each other, and I appreciate their help today in executing this matter. Now that the defendants have been arrested, there are others to come, but now that they've been arrested, they will each be processed. They will have a counsel hearing where counsel will either be retained or appointed for them. Then their cases will be scheduled appropriately. We will then exercise the discovery process to determine whether their cases will go to trial or they will be disposed of. As Sheriff Davis previously mentioned, these individuals are currently charged with RICO, which is the Racketeering, Influence and Corrupt Organization Act violations, RICO, R-I-C-O, as it's commonly abbreviated. They're also charged with money laundering counts as well as drug distribution. RICO violations are punishable in Virginia by up to 40 years in prison and up to a $1 million fine per count. Money laundering, likewise, is punishable by up to 40 years in prison and a $500,000 fine. And drug distribution, a first offense, is up to 40 years in prison. And second and third offenses, some of these individuals were charged with what we call recidivist offenses, second or third offenses. They're punishable by up to life in prison. In addition to these charges, as Sheriff Davis pointed out, we are currently working to seize through asset forfeiture multiple pieces of real estate property, as well as bank accounts and other assets. While the Commonwealth cannot go into the details of what give rise to these cases ethically, we greatly look forward to continuing to fight the crime and the drug distribution problem that we have here. And as these other men have echoed, the fight does not stop here today. We will continue to do this to make sure that we do have a safe place for everyone to work, live, and raise their children. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Sheriff Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Nestor. And thanks to his hard work, this is the first time at the state level we've used this RICO code section to incarcerate our drug dealers. So thank you for your hard work on that. At this time, it's with great pleasure that I will tell you the list of addresses. I've had numerous questions through the morning of what addresses did we execute search warrants at. So we'll go through those. 45 Tanglewood Drive in Martinsville, Virginia. 56 Prospect View Drive, Apartment 8 in Collinsville, Virginia. 271 Chestnut Oak Drive in Bassett, Virginia. 363 Clyde Prilliman Street in Fieldale, Virginia. 2234 John Baker Road, Fieldale, Virginia. 677 Frank Red Road in Fieldale, Virginia. 1320 Chatham Heights Road in the city of Martinsville. And 526 Liberty Street, also located in the city of Martinsville. As a result of that, these 6 individuals have been arrested, and we'll discuss their charges. Waylon Allen Cox Ingram, money laundering, racketeering, distribution of more than 100 grams of methamphetamine, 2 counts. Second offense, distribution of cocaine, endanger the life of a child, 2 counts. Conspiracy to distribute greater than 100 grams of methamphetamine, 2 counts. And conspiracy to distribute cocaine. Patricia Beth Cox Ingram, money laundering, racketeering, distribution of 100 grams of methamphetamine, 2 counts. Distribution of cocaine, second offense, 2 counts of endangering the life of a child. Conspiracy to distribute greater than 100 grams of methamphetamine, 2 counts. And conspiracy to distribute cocaine. Vincent Tonelli Ingram, money laundering, racketeering. Quincy Leon Penn, money laundering, racketeering, and distribution of fentanyl. Janice Draper, money laundering and racketeering. Anthony Joseph Albanese, money laundering, racketeering. Those are the 6 individuals that have been arrested at this point in the investigation. And again, as we speak, our teams are out executing 3 more search warrants at this very moment. We'll take any questions if we can answer them.
Could you explain RICO?
I'll let Mr. Nestor explain.
What is that?
In short, without getting too deep into the weeds, RICO is basically organized criminal activity. The RICO statute in Virginia, it lists multiple code sections, and one of the things we have to prove is 2 or more violations of multiple code sections, one of which is money laundering, one of which is drug distribution, amongst other code sections and crimes that are in there. There's a lot in there, so you can kind of pick and choose what it is, but in short, it is organized criminal activity.
Is this a new type of charge that Henry County has? Or?
No, RICO has been on the books of Virginia Code for a long time.
Sheriff?
Yes.
You say you're declaring a war on drugs, and it looks like you're bringing in other law enforcement to help you do that? I mean, because we've never seen this before.
Well, most certainly, we've always had a great relationship with all our regional law enforcement. Patrick County, the city of Martinsville, Rockingham County, we work well with all surrounding agencies.
But what's changed? I mean, I've been doing this since 1990. I've never seen everybody get together in a room like this.
Well, these people, like I said, have poisoned our community for far too long. We've had a long-term, ongoing, many-month investigation, and it was time to bring it to an end.
Will you guys be releasing the amount of drugs, money found, and will you be releasing any photos?
We do not release the amounts of U.S. currency found. We could probably get you some weights on the drugs at a later date.
Question, you said it was the first time in the state?
Not in the state. First time we've used it here locally, the
Here
racketeer.
locally. I wanted
Yes.
to clarify that. Great.
Yes.
Chief, you had a retail location that was, can you tell us what happened there, and did you find any drugs?
It was involved in this operation.
Can we get you to come to the podium? please?
Sure. That retail business was a part of this whole operation of money laundering and racketeering. As far as the particulars out of there, I don't have the amounts with me, but a quantity of drugs as well as illegal firearms were recovered from that location.
Right, from what we understand, people would go in and buy like a chair or something, and then they would have, and the drugs would come out in a chair? Is that
Well,
correct?
I'm not going to go into the details on what we know as far as the investigation goes, because we're going to let all that come out in court. But the store was being utilized as a front, let's say.
Could you share the name of the store with us?
It actually changed names a couple times, but most people know it as Crazy Anthony's, and that's where the Anthony Albanese arrest comes from.
He's the owner, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Chief Davis, you mentioned that a multi-generational family was involved in this. Can you share about how long this has been going on, that they've been involved in drugs in our area?
I've been at the sheriff's office for 23 years, and in one capacity or another, we have dealt with the Cox Ingram family and involved in the distribution of narcotics for at least my 23 years here.
You guys also mentioned repeat offenders. Can you talk a little bit about repeat offenders involved in drugs in Virginia and in our area of Virginia, how that plays in, and prosecution-wise, what you guys plan to do with that?
The repeat offenses, that simply means that they have priors that they have been convicted of prior to this. So we get the priors from wherever they were convicted of, whichever jurisdiction that was, and we prove either a second, third, or multiple offense drug distribution that enhances the penalties. For a second offense drug distribution, it's a mandatory minimum of 3 years. For a third offense, it's a mandatory minimum of 10 years.
Following that, repeat offenses, is that something that, again, prosecution-wise, you guys are focusing on trying to make sure that those people who have offended once are not getting out there to offend again? Does this mean, with harsher sentences, that you're hoping to put a stop to that?
Absolutely. We will prosecute them to the fullest extent possible.
Can you talk a little bit about how repeat offenses play into drug crime in Virginia? I mean, is it like a notable part of what we're seeing?
It is. One of the things that we try to do, one of the reasons we do have mandatory minimum sentences is so that we do punish them in a more severe. If you have already been punished one time before and you are a repeat offender, obviously you didn't get the message the first time. We're coming after you again. The penalty is going to get harsher, and it's going to get harsher each time. Each time the sentencing guidelines go up, each time, well, until you hit third offense, the mandatory minimum goes up, but it tops out at third offense at 10 years. Mr. Davis also spoke about, I believe there's people that were charged with greater than 100 grams of distribution. They carry a mandatory minimum sentence of 20 years each.
But you know, I have people on our social media thread, they say that these people will be out by lunch, you know, and because of the system and how they can get out and so forth.
They will appear in front of a magistrate, a neutral and detached judicial officer who will set a bond or not set a bond. If they're set a bond, they have the option of posting it. If they can't afford it, they can have a bond hearing to perhaps have that reduced. If they are set no bond, in that case, then they can have a bond hearing and they can have a judge determine what, if any, bond may be appropriate for that particular person.
But people just kind of get the feeling that you guys might be doing your job, but it looks like the judicial system, and you might not be able to comment on that, but it seems like that people are a little upset with that.
Well, I can't comment on that. A judge exercises their independent impartiality to judge the facts based on the evidence and what they believe the law requires. They make their decision. We prosecute our cases based on what we believe the facts are, what we can prove beyond a reasonable doubt. We submit it to a judge or a jury. They make their call and they're sentenced accordingly.
Chief, you're new to this, I mean, but you have to admit, I mean, you've been in law enforcement a long time. Have you ever seen such a joint work together? Or, I mean, I know you needed the scene too.
So I would not say to this level. We've always had a great working relationship, not only between us and Henry County and Patrick County, of course, but in the federal agencies as well. But this is something right from the very get-go that when we were looking at this investigation, and I really do have to hand it to Commonwealth's Attorney Andrew Nestor. These are not easy cases to adopt, and it takes a person who's strong in their beliefs and that is courageous enough to say, yes, let's go after this, let's do this, let's put an end to this. So I have to thank him for this. But yes, we all want to work together hard because all of us have that desire deep in our heart to serve our community and to do what's right and to help our citizens.
And the fentanyl is increasing that probably?
That, and there's other dangerous drugs that are coming into the area that just are really concerning. You know, it really breaks our heart. It's one of these things that drugs, it's kind of like cancer. You know, unfortunately, there's not families out there that can say that they haven't been touched with it in a harmful way in some way or another. I know of people that were teachers that get addicted to drugs and lose their career. I know of a preacher that had struggled with addiction. And, you know, all this comes from this poison, as Sheriff Davis said, being brought into our communities. And all of us up here, we want it to stop. We don't want to see anyone harmed. We've all been to those houses enough where people have overdosed and died, or been to the hospital, or have to deliver those messages where a loved one has passed away. We don't like doing that. We don't want to do it anymore. We want to put a stop to it, and we're going to do our best to do so.
Going back to the Southern Discount Furniture, Crazy Anthony's, you have been at a different location, same business, narcotics allegations, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Is there any other retail stores doing this that you know of?
We don't have anything associated with this case.
Okay, all right. Is this top priority for y'all?
This was a very top priority. Like they said, it's kind of unprecedented for us in this region to do this on a state level such as this. It is a good day for the citizens of Martinsville and Henry County that this is being concluded in this manner and that these people are being brought to justice.
Right. Sheriff Wayne Davis has said that he's gonna visit every drug dealer in his community. You gonna do the same? Try to?
We're gonna be knocking on doors.
Okay.
You know, that it's one of those things that, like I said, we want to put a stop to it.
How about in Patrick County?
Again, I wish I could say we were immune from the ways of the world, but we certainly are not. I tell folks it's like fighting a tide. You know, it is generational as well. You'll arrest. We just did a search warrant last week where where two brothers were arrested, and I think it was each one of them been charged three previous times at both the state and federal levels. So yeah, we're extremely active in the covert narcotics world, and we work closely with these two agencies and all our partner agencies, and it's a regional effort. We can't just do this alone because all the methamphetamine in Patrick County comes from somewhere, and we all know that Mexico is the source country for just about all of our illicit drugs, and it has to come through a lot of different states to get to us, and you can't just fight it locally. So it has to be, you have to have cooperative efforts with each other. So yes, it's a major problem. It always has been, and we're very active and we're doing all we can to combat it.
We're watching all the border stuff going on right now, 10,000 coming across a day. Is that, you think this is all working the same thing right now?
Most definitely.
Absolutely, yeah. It's methamphetamine, fentanyl. They are. It's not coming from Henry County and ended up in Henry County. Okay, it's a Mexican source. It's coming from illegal cartels in Mexico. They have super labs down there that are processing this stuff, and it's flowing into our country. And that's not a new phenomenon. That's something that is where our problem occurs with the cartels.
You think Washington needs to hear this?
I don't know how they haven't heard it. So it's the same old story. Nothing has changed.
And if I can expand on that, I will tell you this, that a lab analysis will show that the methamphetamine that we're getting in nowadays, every bit of it is from a foreign source. That it used to be 10 years ago, we had places that were popping up that were making meth, that were taking prescription pills and converting it and making methamphetamine. You can now buy pure meth or really good quality meth from overseas cheaper than you can buy the ingredients to manufacture it in the United States. So yes, it's all coming from across the border, and something needs to be done to put a stop to it. And I wanted to mention one other thing. You were asking about us working together. I can tell you this, that it is not uncommon that you go to the Martinsville Police Department, or you come here to the Henry County Sheriff's Office, or if you go to Patrick County Sheriff's Office, that you don't go and see one of our other officers at each other's office. Because what we've done is we've opened up the doors to each other to where that they come in, they work in my office, they'll go in, they'll work in the office here, that it's important for us to work together and to share intelligence, because the criminals, they don't know jurisdiction lines. And just like these people that we're arresting today, they're operating in multi-jurisdictions, not just one. So it's important for us to work together in order to put a united front up against these harmful drug dealers.
Just another question for Sheriff Smith. I think earlier you said, on the same topic of where these drugs are coming from, earlier, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you said that they were also coming from eastward. Does that mean they're coming up from the border to the eastern coast and then
No,
coming in?
specifically the individuals arrested today were trafficking narcotics. This whole ring were trafficking narcotics into Patrick County, and we've indicted individuals up there that were part of this I guess crime syndicate that you're seeing today. The people we've arrested today, these were direct drug runners for this this drug ring here that were trafficking narcotics into Patrick County. That's what I meant about eastward coming from Henry County.
Thank you.
You think we'll see more that y'all working together and doing this on a regular basis?
Absolutely.
Sheriff, you got anything to say?
Yo,
Close out.
We'll close by saying this, that it's because of the hard work of the investigators from the Henry County Sheriff's Office, the Martinsville Police Department, and the Patrick County Sheriff's Office. It's because of those three teams working together that led us here today to execute these search warrants, take these people into custody, and clean up what is no doubt an organized criminal syndicate. And it's also because of the hard work of the Commonwealth Attorney we were able to do this. But most importantly, our community needs to know that we work together as a team. We will continue to work together as a team to serve you and keep your streets clean. Thank you.